First location is the National Museum of the Philippines.
The National Museum in Butuan City was established on August 30, 1978, to safeguard and show the public the valuable archaeological finds in the Butuan in the 1970s. The NMP Butuan was established after the accidental discovery of archaeological materials by the City Engineering Office of Butuan City in the 1970s.
Outside the museum, you can see a garden filled with native plants and trees. In front of the entrance, here you can see there's a replica of a boat, which is actually a clock that uses sunlight to determine what time is it. The place also has a lake and a bridge that connects to the other side of the place. The ambience of this place is so relaxing. The sounds of birds chirping and the occasional rustle of leaves create a serene atmosphere. Now let's take a look inside the museum. Upon entering the museum, there is a 3D structure that shows the land of Butuan in prehistorical era and now. Butuan is located in northeastern Mindanao and is part of the Agusan alluvial floodplain, a delta formed by the fast-flowing Agusan River. The river system is used by the people for various purposes, including food and transportation. It occupies approximately 817.28 kilometers of the Agusan Valley and is surrounded by the provinces of Agusan del Norte, Agusan del Sur, and Butuan Bay. Butuan has a favorable climate with a pronounced rainy season throughout the year, which is considered both a bane and boon by the people. Its location prevents it from being directly hit by typhoons, which are important for prehistoric activities like fishing, farming, and maritime voyages. This picture shows the geomorphological map of Butuan. Next picture is the 3D representation structure of balangay or balanghay boat that ancient people used before for trading and fishing in the sea. It is also the boat that Ferdinand Magellan and his crew saw in Masao when they landed first in Caraga. So this is the fifth balanghay boat they discovered. Here is the close-up details of the boat. This picture shows the paddle they used before. There are two types. The narrow paddle is used when hunting for food below the water, and it is also served as a protection tool from predators like crocodile when ancient people crossed the river. The second one is an ordinary paddle used for paddling the boat only. So as you can see, there are small objects, and these small objects are crocodile's feet. The next thing they discovered is bones from different animals and sea creatures. Here in the picture, you can see different types of seashells. This picture is a different ornaments and tools used by the ancient people before here in Butuan. Next, you can see the pots and plates that they discovered and is made by the ancient people. Lastly, more ancient things like this. And now moving on to the right side of the museum, which is composed of fabrics, textiles, and accessories made and worn by indigenous people. The first thing we saw is this diamond illustration that shows the different patterns of textiles made by different indigenous groups. Indigenous people used abaca and other local materials for making fabrics and textiles. These are the clothes worn by different indigenous men made with different patterns and textiles. Next is the different patterns and design of clothes worn by indigenous women. There are also some accessories like bags, necklace, headdress, earrings, and other stuffs. They are all handmade. This picture shows the textiles waved by indigenous people with different patterns and fabrics used. Indigenous people not only wave textiles but they also wave some ropes and more, which is fascinating. knowing that they all made these things bare hands and used their creativity skills to create such beautiful and meaningful patterns.
The Butuan National Museum holds immense historical significance as a repository of artifacts dating back to the pre-colonial era. These artifacts, including gold jewelry, ceramics, and tools, provide invaluable insight into the early civilizations that thrived into the Butuan region. The museum's collection serves as a tangible link to the past, helping us understand the cultural practices, economic activities, and the technological advancement of ancient Filipino societies. The Butuan National Museum was created to showcase archaeological finds unearthed in the Butuan area. Initially focused on displaying artifacts from the 10th century and earlier, the museum has evolved over time to incorporate new discoveries and modern preservation techniques. Its expansion reflects ongoing efforts to safeguard and promote the cultural heritage of the region.
The Butuan National Museum contributes significantly to our understanding of local, national, and even global history. Through its exhibits and collections, it sheds light on the pre colonial civilizations of the Philippines, highlighting their connections to maritime trade networks that spanned Southeast Asia and beyond. By studying these artifacts, researchers can discern patterns of cultural exchange, economic activities, and social structures that shape ancient societies.
Local community has played a crucial role in preserving and maintaining the Butuan National Museum through fundraising efforts, volunteer work, and advocacy for cultural heritage conservation. Community members have ensured the museum's continued operation and relevance. Their dedication underscores the importance of grassroots initiatives in safeguarding cultural treasures for future generations. Tourism brings both opportunities and challenges to the preservation of the Butuan National Museum. On one hand, it generates revenue and raises awareness about the museum's significance, potentially leading to increased funding for conservation efforts. On the other hand, unchecked tourism can result in overcrowding, damage to artifacts, and strain on infrastructure. Managing tourism sustainably is essential to balance visitor experience with the protection of cultural heritage. To ensure the continued preservation and accessibility of the Butuan National Museum for future generations, several strategies can be implemented. These include implementing robust conservation measures such as climate control and artifact restoration, engaging in community outreach and education programs to foster a sense of ownership and appreciation for cultural heritage, and establishing sustainable tourism practice that minimizes negative impacts on the site.
And that's it. And now we are moving on to the next location, which is Banza Church Ruins.
The Banza Church ruins, located at the oldest poblacion of the city, is the oldest ruin of a stone church in the entire island of Mindanao. It was considered the most beautiful church in the region, but it was destroyed. The church was built in 1625 by the Recollect friars but was reduced to ashes in 1753 by Moro pirates. What was left in the church is a part of a bell tower, enveloped a banyan balete tree. The place is located at the inner portion of Lilo in Barangay Banza with a breathtaking view of Agusan River.
This church was once dubbed as the most beautiful church in the region before its destruction. This church was built in 1625 by the Recollect friars but was reduced to ashes in 1753 by Moro pirates. What was left of the church is part of the bell tower enveloped by a banyan balete tree. The Banza Church plays a significant role in our understanding of local history, as they are remnants of one of the oldest Christian settlements in the Philippines. They provide insights into the early Spanish colonial period and the spread of Christianity in the region. Moreover, the ruins also highlights the resilience of the local community in the face of historical challenges. There were local volunteers and now it is also funded and preserved by the government. This place is not an income generating and one of the best thing to do to know one place is to go to their historical places like the Banza Church. To ensure the continued preservation and accessibility of the site for future generations, it is important to implement sustainable tourism practices, establish effective conservation plans, and raise awareness about the historical significance of the Banza Church ruins. Additionally, involving the local community in decision making processes and providing educational programs can help foster a sense of ownership and responsibility towards the preservation of this valuable heritage site. Our third location is in Bood Promontory Eco Park. This hill site or Buod in Butuanon dialect in Barangay Pinamankulan is the historic site of commemoration when Magellan and his men erected a cross and celebrated the first Mass on the Philippines on March 31, 1521. It is the highest elevation and promontory overlooking the whole of Butuan Bay and Masao River. After the Mass, they headed to Bood Promontory, where it overlooks the ancient Butuan and Masao River, also known as El Rio de Butuan. When Ferdinand Magellan reaches the wooded area, he meets the two kings who ruled that area, named Raha Calambo and Raha Shawi, which ended into a good relationship. In the afternoon, Ferdinand Magellan and his crew, together with his native host, they planted the cross on the highest hill as a sign that Christianity was entered the area. Ferdinand Magellan and his crew stayed 7 days in Mazawa, helped in the rice harvest for 2 days, and were regaled by tales of gold in the territory of Butuan and Calaga. The indigenous Hadlayati tree still abounds, lording over a clonal nursery and tree park, and the serpentine Masao River, fish ponds, and archaeological treasures. In this eco park, tables and shed pavilion are available in the area for those who love to have picnic and be one with the nature since the area is full of trees. According to legendary, the Bood Promontory in Barangay Pinamankulan holds two historical significances. First, at the height of its gold industry from the 10th to the 13th centuries, Butuan became a very important trading port and the Buod was a mute witness of this thriving community. Second, on that fateful March 31, 1521, the cross was planted after the Mass. Bood Promontory is not only a heritage park, perhaps it is also one of the beautiful tourist spot in Butuan City. It has a lot of tree that makes the place clean and green. Buod is a best place where you can relax. The people also in Buod Pinamankolan learn to live a livelihood which they learn to harvest a crops and catch fishes and sell it in order to gain income for their survival. Lots of people didn't recognize the Bood Promontory as one of the part of history because they didn't believe that Ferdinand Magellan visited this place before Limasawa. But for the citizen of Butuan City, they strongly believe that the first mass was happened in Masao because of the cross planted in Bood Promontory which Magellan and the Rahas planted. But this is not only the source of evidence why they strongly believe that Magellan did his expedition in Butuan. The Buod Promontory and Eco Park in Butuan City, Philippines hold significant historical importance as they are believed to be the site of the first Mass in the Philippines, which took place in 1521, marking the introduction of Christianity to the archipelago. The park commemorates this event and serves as a cultural and historical landmark for Filipinos. The Bood Promontory and Eco Park in Butuan City, Philippines was established in 1988 by the National Historical Institute. It commemorates the historic events of the arrival of the first people in the Philippines known as the Balangays, who arrived in Butuan around 320 AD. Bood Promontory in Butuan City have likely evolved over time, possibly with improvements in infrastructure, facilities, and environmental conservation efforts. It's common for such sites to undergo changes to enhance visitor experiences while preserving natural beauty and cultural significance. The Bood Promontory and Eco Park in Butuan City contributes to our understanding of local, national, and global history by preserving and showcasing the significance of the site as a historical landmark. As an eco park, it promotes environmental conservation while also educating visitors about the historical events that took place there, such as the arrival of the first Europeans in the Philippines led by Ferdinand Magellan in 1521. By preserving and promoting such sites, we gain insights into the cultural, social, and political dynamics of the past, contributing to a richer understanding of history at various levels. The local community in Butuan City has preserved and maintained the Bood Promontory and Eco Park through various initiatives, including regular cleanup drives, educational programs to raise awareness about its historical significance, implementing sustainable tourism practices, and collaborating with government agencies and NGOs for funding and support. Tourism can have a both positive and negative impacts on the preservation of sites like the Bood Promontory and Eco Park in Butuan City. On the positive side, tourism can raise awareness about the site's significance, generate revenue for its maintenance, and encourage local authorities to implement conservation measures. However, if not managed sustainably, tourism can lead to overcrowding, pollution, and damage to the natural environment. To ensure the continued preservation and accessibility of the Bood Promontory and Eco Park in Butuan City for future generations, it's vital to implement sustainable management practices, engage in community involvement and education programs, regularly monitor and maintain the site's ecological balance, and establish long-term conservation plans in collaboration with local authorities and stakeholders.
Our next destination is Magellan's Anchorage. We have traveled to the north part of Butuan City to visit the Masao Beach, a place of great history. Come with us as we step back in time and explore the very spot where Ferdinand Magellan and his crew first set foot in the Philippines, marking the beginning of Spanish colonization. Or vandalism may cause irreversible damage. Furthermore, the construction of infrastructure to accommodate tourists, such as roads, parking lots, or visitor centers, could disrupt the site's natural surroundings, and archaeological